You are listening to Beyond the Verse, a Star Citizen podcast. A show dedicated to Cloud Imperium games, Star Citizen, and Squadron 42. Whether you fight, explore, unite, and/or trade, we bring you news, updates, interviews, reviews, and analysis. So sit back, relax, grab yourself a pour of Radagast, and join us as we go Beyond the Verse.
Launch sequence activated.
Hello, friends, and welcome to episode 90 of Beyond the Verse podcast. I'm your host, Sulyce. In today's episode, we are covering, obviously, community highlights from the listener polls and comments. We're going to cover this week in Star Citizen, the early news, maybe the low-hanging fruit news, and then obviously we'll be getting into the larger Q1 outlook as well, to include the Bar Citizen World Tour 2025, the PTU notes that I think are going to switch over to live in the next couple of days. We'll get into my hypothesis in a couple of minutes. We're going to cover the In Case You Missed It cell, the Squadron 42 updates, being the newsletter and the contest. Again, looking over the Q1 preview of the next events, both in-game and outside of the game, things to get excited about, because it's kind of drab right now in the community. Totally get that. And then we'll end with the Star Citizen Monthly Report and what it means to the future and where we are headed in Star Citizen for 2025 or 2955. I hope this finds everybody well. I'm super excited to get into this. I need to rush through it just a little bit. It's 5:35 a.m. this Friday morning, but I do have a very, very busy day at work. I got to get into the office and be a good adult. But it's for all the nerd talk out there. I'm conducting several interviews this morning. I'm leading a 3YP doc and an OP2 doc. All the nerd business terms I could throw out there at you right now, but it's a very, very, very busy time for me and for Amazon as we get ready to plan for the rest of the year. But enough of that. No one cares about Amazon, let's be honest, listening to this podcast anyways. So from the community, I want to start by talking immediately about Extra Life. I'm going to lead with our philanthropy, and we'll probably do that moving forward. So just want to highlight and celebrate that we are currently at $645 against a goal of $5,000. And again, we're only 3 to 4 weeks into 2025. So I just wanted to shout out all the individuals that have contributed so far, and look at the middle of the page there. Our overall team rank is 16 of every team that is giving money to Extra Life across the nation. We are number 16. So thank you so much. Keep at it. You can donate on our website. That's beyondtheversehq.com. Go to the very top, go to give, and then select donations and give whatever your heart desires. Extra Life, again, is for children's hospitals around the nation, where the donations stay local to fund treatments and healthcare services and equipment, right? All the things that, everybody has a soft spot in their heart for children, I would think. I know I do. All right, polls and comments section from episode 89. Pretty good episode. I got a lot of good feedback. Like the merge for Orgnite into the actual episode, it was good for the one-time experience. I think it was a pleasant surprise for a lot of the listeners, but as the poll would indicate, you want me to keep it separate, which makes total sense. I personally would love to keep it separate. I intend to keep the ARC episode, our book review of right now we're doing Pierce Brown's, we did the Rising Sun, and now we're doing Golden Sun. Rising, that's not right. Good Lord, what was the first one called? Red Rising. Goodness. All right, so we did Red Rising, and now we're doing Golden Sun. We'll continue through the Pierce Brown series, but that ARC episode will stay separate as well. Really has nothing to do with Star Citizen, but it's space-themed-ish. Sort of. We can get into that later. But so I asked the poll, do you want me to merge Orgnites into the podcast, and a resounding keep separate, which I actually agree with that sentiment. Let's go to the comment section. Alrighty. Some funny funny comments in there, but let's go all the way down to the bottom. Down Bad PK writes, a note about the whole B as a whole A lover. By the looks of the picture on the website, the whole B will not be able to be landed on planets. I feel like there is a missed opportunity to have the whole ship maybe twice. To have a whole ship maybe twice or just over twice the size of the whole A that can be landed on a planet. As always, thank you for the content. I'm assuming you mean when the blades are deployed and there's storage or containers on it. So the whole A you can load with boxes, obviously deploy or extend and fly from planet to planet. You can land and do all the things, but it's only like 60. I think it's like 60 SCU. It's a very like small and limited. So last episode I was expressing my desire to have a whole B that maybe would bridge the gap between like, I don't know, the Zeus CL and the Starlancer Max, like somewhere in there between like the 150 to 250 range. I'm assuming you mean that because the whole C can land on planets, just not deployed, just not with storage. So it's a good call. I agree. I think the whole A and the whole B should be able to land on planets with fully extended and deployed wings. Just like the Zeus CL and the Starlancer that can hold similar amount of SCU, I personally believe the whole B should be able to do the same. Otherwise, no one will buy it. There's better ships out there to go and land on planet side. So I fully believe and agree with this comment. Next comment, and that's actually two comments from Anna. I made a personal playlist of Orgnites, so keep them separate would be nice. And then they also write comedy gold, obviously referring to the Orgnite that was attached to the last episode. So, yep, I agree. We're going to keep them separate moving forward. No issues there. Dakota Riley writes, I cannot wait for the whole B. I really want to see something in between the Starlancer Max and the Caterpillar, so he kind of went one more echelon above. On the cargo hauling chain, that isn't another Hercules. Preach. Also, the state of the game has been awful. I'm actively avoided it since the new year started, which is sad because I love this game. It even screwed Groza and I during the Daymar Rally when we were in top 3. Yeah, that one's sad, guys. I stayed very close to the Daymar Rally. That was last Saturday, right? I'm getting my weekends mixed up. I'm pretty sure it was last Saturday. But yeah, our Soul Provision did amazing. I mean, even at the very end of it all, 7 hours, 8 hours later, Soul Provision did an amazing job. Shout out to Shipco, shout out to Dakota Riley, to Groza, everybody that participated. Shout out. Thank you so much for representing our organization well. But yes, they were doing so well, right? They were top 3. There's screenshots of Soul Provision in the lead or like close to the lead. And then Star Citizen happened. This Sunday night, we're going to be recording next week's episode, so super early, but I'll be having the Soul Provision officers on like we did a couple episodes ago, and Groza will be on to talk more about the experiences during Daymar Rally, and we're going to get into that a little bit. All right, moving on to the next quote. My name, Blake. I used to have 100% CPU usage until I checked out this video, link included, about Project Lasso. I don't know all the details, but it fixes something with Star Citizen trying to use all the cores. First off, thank you for the tip. Sincerely, what I'm about to say, I don't want it to be taken the wrong way. So again, thank you. I really do appreciate it. YouTube comments, Spotify comments, let's help the community out, right? For me personally, hell no. I am not going to be doing any third-party apps or going anywhere or doing anything special just because Star Citizen can't get their shit together. I know that's like maybe not on brand. I'm usually like more optimistic, and obviously like I try to keep this on the light side, but I will not deviate away from standard gaming on my computer just because CIG again can't get their shit together. So no, I'm not going to. I appreciate the insight, but going through, like, I don't want to have to jump on my left leg for 30 minutes and do some dance before I can actually get in and play the damn game. No. CIG, fix the game, make it more stable, like the chairman letter demanded and mandated you to do. And then we can talk about optimization. So thanks for the comment. That has nothing to do directly with you in the comment. I hope that's understandable. All right, then the last comment from Sean, had it on a comment twice. Actually, that's a really good question. I'm pretty sure once you send a comment, it like locks you out of future comments, but hey, that's a great question. Anyways, I want to know your thoughts on the Drake Ironclad, both variants. How do you feel about the growth of this podcast? Let me actually pause. Let's talk about the Ironclads real quick. All right. So there's two Ironclads, right? You have the base Ironclad, which is an armored freight, and you have the Assault, obviously a military variant of that. Yeah, so I like the idea. We're done with comments, so I'll just switch over cameras. I like the idea of the Ironclad. It bridges the gap between like the C2, the Caterpillar, right? These heavy freights or the massive freights, but then you have like the whole C, which is like 4,000 SCU. So you go from like the C2 is like 700. It's like 700 SCU, and then you go all the way up to this 4,000 SCU. It's a little bit more than that. And in fact, actually, I'm going to open up Discord. You guys are going to hear some background noises because I just did this analysis. I want to be very, very exact whenever I say this. So as this takes like 30 minutes to load, last night's org night, I wasn't able to actually get in the game. So as my org members were able to get in and mess around, I simply, I did this research for the show. So here we go. What's the best way to do this? Let me take a snippet of this. So a snippet that ends up becoming my full screen, and then I can share my screen. All right, I don't want to dox my members on the org. So here we go. Here's the SCU, what I consider relevant cargo haulers. So the Rat, the Freelancer Max, Zeus CL, Constellation Taurus, Starlancer Max, the Cat C2, and then you have the Ironclad, the whole C, D, and E. I like the idea of the Ironclad fitting right in between the C2 and the whole C. So C2, 696 SCU, and the whole C is 4,608 SCU. The Ironclad comes in at 1,536. It can land planet side, so you don't have to run into the issue of the whole C not being able to and trying to figure that crap out. So I think it's going to be good for all things cargo hauling. I like the functionality, what is being pitched for the Ironclad. So I will more than likely commit to the Ironclad in my hangar, right? I think let's put money aside, like real life money. Putting money aside and just looking at the available ships, it doesn't necessarily make sense to have all 5 of the first 5. Right, so like the Rat is 96 SCU, and then the Freelancer Zeus, the Constellation Starlancer. The difference between all of that is like it's 96 SCU and 224 SCU. So like 100 SCU difference, roughly. Just pick one, right? You don't need all 5. Pick one. I personally would recommend the Starlancer Max. It's a little bit easier to load. It has more kind of that like capability in the back garage. It looks cool. I like MISC, so I'm a little biased. But going down to like the Constellation Taurus, I mean, it takes a long time to get to the cockpit. And I'm being very particular here. But the Freelancer Max, you might as well go 8 more SCU up for a better looking ship like the Zeus CL. In my opinion, I love me the Raft. I love the Raft. But again, your cargo is going externally, so it makes loading and unloading very fast, but you're also telegraphing to any pirate what you have. So when that kind of game loop becomes more mature, it's not smart. It's not tactically smart unless you have a lot of security with you. Excuse me. Doing podcasts like this early in the morning, like my voice is still warming up, so I got to figure out a good balance of everything, so excuse me. But yes, I think the Ironclad, perfect. Now here's where I think I'm gonna differ with a lot of people. Like I don't really care for the assault. Not that it's not a good option, or I don't know. I won't be getting the assault because I just think there's other ships that do similar things, maybe do it better. Let's actually take a look at it. I want to give it its due diligence. Let me just go through. You guys can watch me get to the pledge store. So pledge store, which the Ironclads are available for sale right now because of the In Case You Missed It event. We're going to cover the details of that here in a second. But let me pull up the Ironclad page. Let's look at the assault together, and I'll kind of go through, I guess, my thought process. So first off, for another $100 basically, or $70. So you got the Ironclad at $450. The assault is $535. Let's click into it. There's not going to be a lot of information here. I know there's an FAQ or Q&A. We're not going to go through that because, again, we're rushed on time. But, quote, the ultimate combined arms platform, the Ironclad Assault safely carries heavy vehicles and squads of infantry with daunting auxiliary turrets providing direct support. I don't know. It looks cool, but I think the M2 kind of does the same thing. I'm sure the Assault is bigger and has more guns. Fine. But I don't know if it's necessarily worth the big jump, right, in price from the Ironclad to the Ironclad Assault. But I'm also super biased, guys. Like, y'all know I'm big into cargo hauling, so I don't necessarily want to give up my shit. There's also like this big question, and it's answered in the Q&A, but like the top of the Ironclad Assault opens up, and the question is like, is that protected by screw it, let's just get into it. It's fine. We'll have to make up time somewhere else, but I think this is important. So we're gonna go to, good Lord, there's a lot easier ways of doing this. All right, let's get into, I think it's what is it? Explore. It's in the comm links. Let's just search Ironclad. It's funny how this here, Drake Ironclad. Here we go. I thought the Assault had its own Q&A. I could be wrong. All right. Well, here is the Drake Ironclad Q&A from a long time ago, last year, of course. All right, let's Assault having retracting. Here we go. All right. So the Ironclad Assault does have a retracting roof, like the base version, yes. The retracting roof is a shared element between the two versions. However, the tractor beam setup obviously is removed, so utility is significantly compromised in the Assault version. Armory in the Assault. An armory isn't shown in the Assault cutaway, but during production we'll be looking for the best place for one. So yeah, it will have an armory inside of it. So that's, a plus when compared to like the M2, for instance. There's also a repair bay. There's a repair facility aboard the Assault as well. It's going to be part of the repair and crafting process, kind of talked about in CitizenCon, so more to discuss there in the future. So I don't know, guys. I will have to get it in it and fly it, like I do with all other purchases. I want to get my hands dirty. I want to make that decision at the time, but at this current moment, I'm not going to buy it in this In Case You Missed It event, if that makes better sense. Now, prediction. I think, given it's Drake, given it is a military variant, it's very likely that it will be available, or it very well could be available for Invictus launch week during Drake Day or Drake Days. I think it's like 2 or 3 days. But I can see it being released then. It's already through gray box phase, which is announced in the monthly report. But I can see it then, which means the cargo hauling variant was probably going to be out sooner, maybe, hopefully, maybe a February timeframe or March timeframe, maybe Q1. So the last part of Sharon's question was about the growth of the podcast. Would you want it to grow into this huge multi-million follower mass, or do you prefer the close-knit group or community you've built so far? Yes. I'll say it again. I never intended for this to become a massive production with millions of followers, but if it happens, great. Sole Provision as an organization, I would much rather be like a really tight-knit group, a family. I'll just say, like, if there was 100 of us that were just always playing and always engaged and have like genuine connections, I think that goes a lot further than having 7,000, 10,000, members not really actually doing anything in the game. So I think that's a different conversation. Soulprovision.org, let's keep it, close. Everybody's welcome. Join. I'm not saying don't. But I would much rather that be like a close, tight group. But yeah, I mean, let's get this podcast to the Joe Rogan level. No issues there. I don't really care how many people listen. I would do it for the one. I would do it for the millions. It doesn't change my life. It doesn't change how I produce. I'm still staring at a screen inside of my office at my home. Now, what that does mean is monetization and, advertisements and all that, which the moment it starts detracting from the overall quality or from the experience, I'm not doing it. Again, I have a phenomenal job at Amazon. I don't need this for money, but I'm also not going to stunt growth, if that makes sense. Okay, this week in Star Citizen, hot and heavy. I got about 30 minutes left. All right, hello, everybody. Over the weekend, the filthiest race in the verse lived up to its name as the annual community-organized Daymar Rally took over the Crusader's second moon. Our team had a blast tuning in to watch the largest gathering of players on a single shard in the rally's history. Racers pushed the limits across the grueling 510-kilometer course, battling out in 3 divisions, the buggy, the truck, and the hoverbike. With teams from 37 nations from around the globe, this year's event was one not to miss. But just in case you did, check out the replay at the Atmo Esports Twitch channel. Congratulations to all the racers and participants, and a special shout out to the countless individuals who helped organize and bring this year's event to life. Again, on Sunday, I'll be recording with Soul Provision. Groza was part of that, and we'll be asking Groza all the questions on his experience in Daymar Rally. Bullet points. On Wednesday, we had the In Case You Missed It, the Star Citizen Monthly Report. Thursday, we had the Squadron 42 newsletter and contest with a chance to win a part of Squadron 42 history. We'll get into that. And then later today, on Friday, there'll be the RSI Weekly newsletter. Cool. Let's keep going. All right. Small news first. Not to detract the importance of the news, but a small news first. Bar Citizen World Tour. I think maybe next time I record at 5, I don't know, like cough, like a cough drop, maybe like hot tea with honey, like something to just coat my throat so I don't like keep hacking away on podcast. No one likes that. All right, Bar Citizen World Tour 2025. Just in short, every year they go through this and they talk about where they intend to be and like ways to stay connected. So let's go to the article. Over the past few years, the Bar Citizen World Tour has given us a chance to meet many of you in person. These gatherings have been a great way to connect face-to-face with members of the Star Citizen community who we usually only get to interact with online. What started as a short-term initiative has become an important tradition for us. Each event has shown us the energy, passion, and camaraderie that make this community so unique. It's been amazing to see how Star Citizen brings people together, no matter where they're from. We're happy to announce that the Bar Citizen World Tour will continue in 2025, and we love your input on where to go next. The more interest in a location that it gets, the better the chances of adding it to the tour. Whether it's a large group gathering or smaller meetup, we want to hear your suggestions. If you'd rather share your ideas privately, you can send a message to me or any member of our community team, and we'll make sure your location is considered. Thanks for being part of the journey. We look forward to hearing your suggestions and meeting even more of you in 2025. Come to Austin, but that's kind of boring because there's a studio here. They usually go all across the world. It's super exciting, a great opportunity for CIG's community team to get out and kind of I was gonna say like touch grass, but I don't. That sounds horrible. That's usually a derogatory phrase, and I don't mean it that way. But like to get away from the studio, get in the midst of where the gamers are. Like there's nothing like getting in front of 10, 20, 100, gamers that all play the same game to truly get an idea and a feel of the sentiment, right? The qualitative. When you sit behind your computer at a studio, or like me, at work, it's always quantitative metrics and let the metrics like guide you. But like I always I always say like the quantitative metrics will point you in the right direction. And then once you're in that direction, it's the qualitative that matters. This is their chance to really get that qualitative data. Spitting words of advice. All right, there we go. More news. So the PTU looks like it's getting updates every day. So what I used to do is kind of what Ruben Soros does on social media as well. Like him and I both like continuously update the community on when patches drop and whatever. I'm gonna kind of pull back from that. So like if something is news, I will absolutely share it. But like every day there is a PTU update, and so rather than just, hey, there's another one happening today, it's kind of a waste of my time, and I don't know, I feel like it's kind of a waste of yours. But the latest update was yesterday, so more than likely you already know this information. You've already been in it and experienced it if you're in the PTU. Which might be one of the poll questions, is like which build are you currently playing in? I don't know anybody who's playing in 3.24.3, but either the 4.0 preview or the 4.0.1 PTU. But here we go. Again, there's no real updates. I mean, it's still the 5.5.500 configuration. They're focusing on stability, performance, and bug fixing. They are testing out the save state in Chapter 2 events, but the rest is just bug fixing. So I'm not trying to take away or demean the patch updates. Just know that they're continuously updating. They're at work, right? They're hard at work. And usually what happens is after a couple of iterations in the PTU, they'll throw it into the live service, usually like on a Thursday, Friday. So it obviously didn't go into live last night. Maybe today, maybe over the weekend. We'll find out. But as of right now, it's in its own server, or its own build. 1 second. It's funny, I was listening on the last podcast, and I try to turn and like lean when I cough, and I realize my microphone picks up everything. So it doesn't really help. So I'm gonna start using my my cough blocker. There's like a mute button. I forgot what it's called, but I guess a mute button on my soundboard that I can just hit. Anyways, okay, so there is your PTU. All right, the In Case You Missed It event. Yeah. So I want to make sure that I'm not like rubbing anybody at CIG the wrong way. But I think it's interesting. This is several times now in the past 2 or 3 years where one could perceive that the CIG marketing team is tone deaf. Like 3.18 dropped and they're still pushing Fortuna marketing events, right? Like it was around that same time frame. They were saying, hey, get in game, take these screenshots when you could never get in game. All right, that's one example. And then there's been these types of marketing events where like the game is very hard to get into right now. Half of the community can get in, the other half cannot. So they've moved on to like 4.0.1 or even back to 3.24, which I don't know that being the case. But they throw this like in case you missed it, like, hey, we need to jumpstart our finances. Hey, we really need your money again. Like we need to start 2025 right with the right trajectory of money. Money. Buy more ships. But you can't get in the damn game. So I think this is either one of two things. Either people can get in game and they don't necessarily care, and this is no big deal. It's just another marketing event, or they, hey, maybe they got money over the Christmas holiday and the New Year's, and so they have the money to spend. It's fine. Cool. But with the other half of the community that can't get in, it's like, hey, we know you would like to play, and here's some ships to spend money on when you can play. But it doesn't feel like there's a lot of fixing going on into the live. So a little bit of the sentiment there, a little bit of the qualitative, right, with this event. But let's just get down to the facts. I mean, every ship that was announced, released or announced last year is available in the pledge store. So like the Ironclad, it's absolutely there. Have at it. Go buy it. Would I advise you to do it? No. Don't do it. Don't spend a freaking penny. Not because of any, immature, stick it to the man kind of comment, but save it for Invictus launch week or IAE, because you get 120 months of lifetime insurance, 120 months of insurance at those two events, and you have access to everything. Well, Invictus launch week is military, IAE is everything. So if you can just wait, if you can just prolong, because you can't get in the game anyways, if you can just prolong purchasing until Invictus launch week, cool, just wait. You get more bang for your buck. So again, to the facts, in case you missed it, this is available between now and I think the 28th. They don't really lead with the dates, do they? Let's just read it. So 2024 is a huge year in the verse, which culminated with the opening of the jump gates to the distant, lawless system of Pyro. To make sure you're ready to take on the bloodthirsty gangs and merciless outlaws, every ship and ground vehicle released last year is available again for a limited time. Check out the categories below and don't miss your chance to pick up one that got away in 2024. So again, they don't have dates here. The page is pretty self-explanatory. They have the different categories you can go through and click on rescue and medical. You can go in and click through industrial and hauling. So that's cool. Or you can just come straight to the very bottom and just look at the class of 2024. So it looks like there's 24 vehicles. Let's go through those real quick. And guys, I'm pretty sure it's the 28th. I'm pretty sure you have until the middle part of next week. I'll try to confirm. I don't know where I'd confirm that. Anyways, I'll confirm it, put it on socials. Here we go. So the Atlas, the CSV-SM, you've got the F7C series, basically. So the Hornet Mark II, the Tracker, the Ghost. Then you got the Mirai Guardian, the Guardian QI, the Intrepid. Here's your Ironclad, the Ironclad Assault, MPUV Tractor, the Paladin, which the Paladin is also supposed to come out this year. It's in the notes. We'll get into it. The Polaris, that's huge, guys, right? The Polaris is kind of another... Well, I'm sorry, the Perseus. They talk about the Perseus in the notes. We'll get into that also as well. But here's the Polaris. That's a huge one. The Pulse, Pulse LX. I forgot about the Pulse. I thought the Pulse was a long time ago. It feels like the Pulse was before last year, but yeah, I guess that was early. Last year. The Retaliator wasn't necessarily, it wasn't like a new ship last year, but this was the modularity. Remember, like the one ship that got modularity and got relaunched, essentially. I guess the gold standard. So the Retaliator is here. Saber Firebird, I do remember that. The Peregrine, the Starlancer Max, the Starlancer Attack, a Terrapin Medic, Ursa Medic, the Zeus Mark CL, and the Zeus Mark ES, Mark II ES. So if any of those ships excite you, sure, have at it. I would just save the money. I would save it until you can get more bang for your buck. So, what are your thoughts? Are you buying anything for in case you missed it? Are you going to wait? All right, Squadron 42. Guys, with Squadron 42 coming next year, you're going to see a lot of these types of announcements, like these types of events this year. It's exciting. I'm super excited about it. We've got wallpapers, music, ringtones, stickers. We got it all happening this year. I'm hoping for a collector's edition announcement of like reserving your collector's edition. I don't know what the hell would be involved in that. But you bet your money that I'm buying one. Absolutely. So this really cool article came out that kind of laid out this contest where you can also win a Chris Roberts autographed music sheet. We'll get into those details here in a second, but here we go. January Spotlight. Kick off the year with January's Squadron 42 newsletter this month. We're bringing you an exclusive video featuring the soundtrack's orchestral recording, downloadable wallpaper, and epic ringtones to personalize your device. Proudly display your allegiance to the UEE and Squadron 42. Download your favorites below. So here's the video. I think it's 2 minutes. I might actually go ahead and play it for y'all. It's 2 minutes. Let me adjust the sound level because it's super loud. We'll watch it together and then we'll move on. But this is a pretty cool video. I thought it was longer, but we can do 2 minutes. Here we go. Love it. I'm a huge in the music. Let's see. I played a lot of instruments as a kid growing up. So obviously band. I was in band. Played the trumpet. That's fine. Judge me. I don't care. Yeah, I played the trumpet, piano, guitar, drums. Kind of did the whole thing. So music is like a part of me. So anytime I get access to like listen to Pedro or to watch the orchestra record or that final scene of the bagpipes recording, like, I don't know, I love that shit. And so I'm hoping like a collector's edition or something is available, like how they made the game. Like I would buy that DVD. I guess people don't make DVDs anymore. I would download that video. So just, I don't know, I hope you enjoyed that. It's probably better if you see that on video because there's scenes that are obviously circulating throughout that audio directly from Squadron 42 and scenes that I've never actually seen before personally. So some pretty cool graphics. I think Squadron 42 is going to be quite the cinematic adventure. We got wallpapers, right, to like put on your desktop. I think some of them look good. Like, it's fine. I don't necessarily. I kind of like the unbranded wallpapers. Like this one has the Squadron 42 logo on it. That's fine. I'm sure you can remove it in Photoshop, but I kind of like the unbranded, kind of the out in space, kind of more of a subtle wallpaper. So some of these are probably too much for me personally, but here's one. We got Henry Cavill that is walking towards his Aegis Gladius. Then you've got McLaren, which is played by Gillian Anderson. So cool, fun. You got some more ringtones that you can put on your phone. I think that's, for me personally, probably too much. But I don't know. No one really has ringtones on their phone anymore. So personal experience. Most people I know have their phone on vibrate, right? Either their watch tells them that their phone is ringing or the phone in their pocket starts vibrating. I don't really hear a lot of ringtones nowadays. I feel like more people are going to the silent or the vibrate. So I don't know. Maybe it could be fun as like an alarm, maybe put the sound as like an alarm so when you wake up to it. I don't know. But then you have stickers. You guys can judge all you want. I'm actually like really big into the stickers. I have no idea what to put them on. I don't. But you can get like a Navy UEE sticker, Flying Navy, and a Squadron 42 logo sticker for $12. I mean, I think that's cool. I just I buy them like patches, right? I buy them. I buy stickers. I buy patches. I buy pins. Don't really know what to do with them, but I have them. So let me know what y'all think about the Squadron 42 newsletter. It does come with a contest. Let's get into that. So this is really cool. Let's just go straight down to who wins. So the prize is a page of sheet music from the Squadron 42 score that we just watched, we just listened to, used in the official soundtrack recording session performed at Abbey Road Studios in London, and signed by Chris Roberts. Basically, take your best screenshot and submit. I mean, not to oversimplify, but the contest is like, I guess I could just read the contest, but it's like take the best screenshot that embodies the Star Citizen and Squadron 42 spirit. Okay, that is so broad. so let's go to the article. To celebrate the debut of our revamped Squadron 42 newsletter, we're challenging you to unleash your in-game creativity by submitting stunning screenshots of your Star Citizen character in action, dressed in their finest UEE attire, and embodying the true spirit of a citizen of the Empire. And then it discusses the reward. That is so broad. That is so broad. Okay, so UEE attire, that's actually very specific. There's only so many UEE outfits that you could possibly wear. I'm assuming that that's what they mean, unless it's just literally any outfit in the universe. Then it's broad again. But the rest of it's like, I guess, just whatever the hell you wanna do. So have at it. This article, all links are going to be in our show notes. This article tells you how to sign in. Make sure that you are signed up for the Squadron 42 newsletter in order to participate. But it's got everything you need here. It's based off of quality, creativity, rule adherence, and aesthetic composition. So really no difference between this screenshot contest and others. It's just very broad. So good luck to you. I would love to hear if you're submitting. I would love to see your submissions. They will more than likely share those on the community hub. But let's keep going. All right. We got about like 14 minutes left. I think we can do this. So we're going to go through like the next quarter, what to expect in Star Citizen for the next quarter. And then we'll do like an executive summary of the monthly report, and we'll call it an episode. So here is what to expect. And I think before we even get into this, I want to remind listeners and viewers that the chairman, the letter from the chairman in December, Chris Roberts states that the goal for this year is stabilization. Just remember that. So when I have community members asking me about base building, I mean, maybe, I don't know. Never say never, but I doubt there's going to be some massive game loop or build like that coming out this year when you've got your CEO, right, your director of the game saying stabilization. So when I look at this, when I look at future like Star Citizen monthly reports, and I look at kind of the forecast for 2025, nothing really like new excites me. I don't think we're going to be seeing like a lot of new stuff, but the stabilization for the game alone is enough to make me excited. Make this game playable. I think that would do wonders for the community. Like, we can make our own fun. We always do. Soul Provision Org Nights. Like, we will have fun with whatever you give us. Just let us play in the sandbox, damn it. It's like a park. It's like a park that has a sandbox for you to go play in, but it's under construction. Like, you arrive at the park and you're like, well, shit, I can't go play in the sandbox. Yeah, okay, here we go. Or maybe a better analogy is you go to like a water park and your favorite ride is under construction, right? Because you can theoretically play Arena Commander, But people want to get into the PU and they want to get into this other experience. Okay, I digress. All right, so the epic month ahead. A little bit of a summary paragraph. It talks about where we are with the PTU. Whatever. I'm not gonna go over that, but let's go through the events. So Save Stanton Chapter 2, that's coming out. If you haven't gone through the first chapter or like the first 4 phases of Save Stanton, I think you can still do it, guys. Like I think you can still. I'm pretty damn sure. No, because 324.3, what you do there doesn't carry over. It doesn't carry over to the live. I need to do some research, guys. This is an action item I'm going to pull from this podcast. I'm going to come back to you. I will. But I'm pretty sure chapter 1 is done. You might not be able to do it. But chapter 2 is coming out. So here we go. Squadron 42 newsletter update and contest. We just covered it. In case you missed it, we just covered it. All right, Red Festival and Coremore. So Red Festival and Coremore are 2 separate events that overlap. So they usually are kind of tied into the same conversation. The Red Festival being the Lunar New Year. It's, the red envelopes, and you get the liveries for your ships that are the red with the little animal, whatever the animal is. So you'll have more of that coming as well. So we are bidding farewell to 2024 and welcoming 2025 with a new beginning at the Red Festival 2955. As is tradition throughout the UEE, the Banu have hidden red envelopes across Stanton and are offering a variety of red and gold ship paints to tempt good fortune in the coming year. As always, it comes with a referral bonus, a very sexy black and red, which is my color scheme. So thank you, CIG. For the Drake Dragonfly. Black and red. This is my color scheme. If anybody ever wants to know. This black and red. It's perfect. So there will be a referral bonus tied to it as well. Obviously a free fly, which yay, server stability. we love free fly. Let's go down to Coremore. So Love is in the Air as Coremore, our in lore Valentine's Day celebration, returns to Star Citizen with exciting new surprises to still your heart. This year, enjoy a range of new festival items, cool, and take part in our comic strip contest. Hello, Supervision. We've got some comic book junkies and designers in Supervision. This should be our event to win. In our comic strip contest for a chance to win a vehicle you're sure to fall for. We should probably read into the you're sure to fall for. Don't know what that means, but we should look into it. You have the Crux Cup 2955. The Crux Cup is gearing up for its monumental 10th anniversary edition, launching on February 23rd. There you go. There's your date. Whether you're a newcomer eager to break into the racing scene, a seasoned pro chasing victory, or looking to build a full-fledged racing team, the Crux Cup Community Ship Racing Series has a place for you in 2955. Join Enzia Racing in celebrating a decade of thrilling competition in Star Citizen. Don't miss the announcement video and full details. Check them out here. What's cool is, like, again, in Supervision with the Daymar Rally, we have this rejuvenated, like, interest in racing, so we will more than likely be participating in the Crux Cup as well. Then we have the Bar Citizen World Tour 2025, which we've already covered. So just in the next couple of weeks, it should be a pretty fun February, right? It's the 24th right now, so we're basically at the end of January. So this is all basically happening in February. It's exciting. It's enough to make content for. Just allow us to get in game, guys. That would be nice. That'd be really fun. I would appreciate the ability to play my game. Last but not least, the Star Citizen Monthly Report. All right, this one's a beast. Obviously, it's very long. You can see me scrolling through it right now. We are not going to go through every single one of these points. What I've done is I've actually written an executive summary that I'll just read real quick, if that's okay with you. All right, let's go. Executive summary. CIG capped off 2024 with significant advancements across Star Citizen's persistent universe in preparation for Alpha 4.0. The November and December efforts focused on refining systems, enhancing AI capabilities, and optimizing performance. Key highlights include for AI innovations. Content. Enhance social behaviors for NPCs and stations and outposts with dynamic conversations and increased population density experiments in Stanton's landing zones. In the features, improved combat mechanics, including NPC ammo management, medic behaviors, and advanced response tactics. The Quasi-Grazer, a new creature, was introduced with interactive animations and behaviors. And for tech, optimization of navigation and cover systems, performance upgrades for ship AI, and the rollout of the Star Script design tool for streamlined mission and NPC behavior creation. Core gameplay. Stability and performance enhancements were prioritized for Alpha 4.0 alongside refinements to jump point mechanics connecting Stanton to Pyro. Mission systems underwent an overhaul for server meshing capability with a focus on persistence and authority transfer. The economy and visuals team rebalanced prices for fuel, components, and repairs to reflect gameplay changes. The size 10 bomb, for example, now demands careful financial consideration. Yep. Visual improvements, including finalizing Vulkan renderer support, advancements in global illumination and reflections, and progress on Planet Tech V5. We're already halfway done. See, this is a little better than reading word for word. All right. Art, animation, and locations. Development on new armors, vehicles, and creature animations, including groundwork for future creature introductions. Polishing and optimizing Pyro's contested zones and outposts for Alpha 4.0. Community engagement, CitizenCon 2954 presentations, Intergalactic Aerospace Expo support, and the launch of initiatives like Star Citizen Comms Dive kept the community engaged. Seasonal events such as Luminalia 2954 included daily gift contests and in-game activities. Online services and R&D. Back-end services were finalized for server meshing and social updates, dynamic weather systems advanced with rain accumulation modeling, and improved lightning effects. Tools like Hex received significant upgrades to streamline event and mission management. And last, looking forward. With Alpha's 4.0 rollout, CIG is poised to deliver on-core gameplay advancements and expanded systems like Pyro and contested zones, setting the stage for an ambitious 2025. Key ships. I know everybody wants to know about the ships mentioned. So the following ships are either progressing through white box and gray box stages or nearing completion for future releases. So potential 2025 releases. I can't emphasize the word potential enough. Potential 2025 release. The Consolidated Outland Pioneer, Drake Ironclad, Anvil Paladin, Misk Starlancer TAC, the Argos CSV FM, the RSI Apollo, and the RSI Perseus. So there you have it. I hope that kind of summarized the monthly report for you better than reading word for word. I'm going to move forward doing that so it's not so exhausting for me. I hope that's okay. But yeah, I think we could see these ships. I'm excited about the RSI Apollo. Like, the medical gameplay loop needs to mature. It absolutely needs to mature. I think having the Apollo would be really fun. We already have some medical ships, so you can argue whether or not it's necessary. But I like the idea of a medical ship that has drone capabilities. Yeah. I think all that's great. The things that are building bases, right? Like the Consolidated Outland Pioneer and the CSV FM. I think those aren't necessarily based off of the stage of where they're at, like white box, gray box. I think they can be completely final but not released until base building is a thing. So we could push on the back burner. We could push Pioneer. We could push the CSV FM. But I absolutely think the Ironclad Paladin, the Starlancer TAC, and the Perseus could absolutely make their way in 2025. For what that's worth. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comment section. Guys, I hope this finds you well. I hope this was a good episode for y'all, and it meets you at the end of your January journey. And in all the best ways. In all the best ways. Again, Sunday night, I'll be having Soul Provision on to record for a next Friday publish. So it'll be the same Friday morning podcast, just with 3 guest hosts. That's going to be amazing. Can't wait for that. But again, I hope we're all able to get in game over the weekend. It'd be a really nice change in 2025 if we could all go in and experience a 500 person shard. That's my wish for everybody. If you want to become part of the conversation, you can do so by joining all socials. Really, you can do all things going through our website, beyondtheversehq.com. Links to our socials, how to email us, how to donate to Extra Life. It's all there. So stop by there. If you want to join our in-game organization, Soul Provision, it's soulprovision.com. Send us an email. It's contact@beyondtheversehq.com. I will absolutely read those. I will consider those into the conversation. Again, this is more about the community engagement than it is about me talking at you. It's why we lead from the community segments. So take advantage of that. I love hearing from y'all. I love hearing the updates. I love hearing how y'all's experiences are in the game. It bridges that distance. It bridges that gap between content creator and community. So feel free. All right, guys, I'm out. I got to get ready for work. I got to get interviews ready and all that fun nerd work stuff. So take care. Safe travels as you traverse beyond the verse. See you, everybody.